Hi everyone, welcome back to episode 24. Today I really want to touch on self-sabotage. I was not able to touch on it as much as I would like to last episode because I feel like it blends with the letting go thing, but let's jump right into it. Self-sabotage is a coping mechanism. It's not exactly things that are true, but they are things that are safe safe to have fears of. Stuff that is not the exact fear that you have, but something that's reasonable to have a fear about. So it's more of like something, not something that you're afraid to be, but something that is close to you now that makes you feel validated for coping. Like if you're having financial trouble, you kind of have to stem back to why you're in financial trouble and go back to the root of how you see money and how was your first thought of money. And that probably stems back from maybe your parents didn't spend their money well. Maybe you were told that rich people are evil or something of the sort. And it might have you reflect that feeling because you feel some type of way towards it. So you would naturally reflect and deflect on, guess what? The money. So that kind of, you can just apply that to most things. And coping it's not a solution. It is just numbing the feeling and giving you that adrenaline rush that the success would actually give you, but just for short term. So it's not a solution. It is just a temporary band-aid. And this comes in many forms. It's sometimes not super visible. Maybe it's something small, like assuming that you can't do something because you've never been good at it, and that's just, to you, that doesn't feel wrong to say that you're not good at something because that's normal for you. But that is a form of self-sabotage. Or it could be very direct, like, I'll never be good at this, I'll never be good at anything, I just suck as a person. And then you're quite aware of how you feel, and it feels more direct and you're self-aware, but you're still down about it. So yeah, self-sabotage comes in many, many forms. And what really needs to be changed there is your perspective. Because nothing will change from within unless you change how you feel. Because if you change how you feel and how you see things, that'll actually put you on the right foot. And it'll create more opportunities. It'll allow you to not stop yourself from doing certain things. You're just kind of erasing opportunities to improve, even if it's in your career path or in a friendship. Maybe someone you really care about is just thinking about texting you all the time to hang out, and you're like, I think they're too busy. I don't think they want to hang out with me. And maybe they're in the same boat. And then you never hit each other up and you never hang out. But maybe they wanted to hang out with you this whole time. You never know what you're truly capable of, especially with the self-sabotage. Because everyone does it. Like, you can boil it down to even your parents. They definitely do it. Oh, I didn't think of calling you because I thought you didn't have enough time. I didn't want to talk to you because I I thought you were upset. I mean, it's human. It's human to feel something and feel like you are not observing. You're not deserving, sorry, not observing. Not deserving of kind of those feelings. But that's normal, because you got to realize that you're also human, just like they are, and you can just I mean, all these lessons that I've been talking about the last 10 15 episodes kind of blend into one, and that's why I struggle to figure out what to talk about every time, because they're so connected. And I don't like being repetitive, but it's definitely repetitive, and I guess I'm just gonna have to just kind of like self-sabotage you. Damn. I don't know why I'm so burpy. It's kind of like self-sabotage. You kind of have to be at peace with it or fight it head on. Just like an insecurity, you have to be at peace with it or fight it head on. Otherwise, you're going to be insecure. Sorry, I got my to-do list sitting out here. I thought it was my notes. Now, a couple questions that Jacob was not able to ask me yesterday. What's a quote you bring into life often? I've said it before. It's all about balance, because I do think that applies to everything. But I already talked about that yesterday. I won't talk about that more. Yeah, whatever it takes. Whatever it takes. Because if something truly means enough to you, you'll do whatever it takes. Do it scared, do it hungry, do it angry, do it sick, do it starving. I said hungry already. Do it embarrassed. Do it ugly. Just do whatever it takes, because I'm getting to the point where I'm feel like my age is going to be an excuse for me, and I don't like that, because I'm 25, it's too late, or why is it taking me this long to figure it out? Shit, it is what it is. Just remember, I hate when people say this, but you're not alone. There's people just like you. It's not a solo feeling. You're not the first of kind. But you just gotta learn to, I don't know. I've said this every episode. I feel like they just all connect to just doing something and just not being sad. I did kind of an exercise for myself today. I decided to go up to my normal coffee window and not wear headphones, because usually I stimulate myself to give myself a cop out, and that's my way of coping, is being like, okay, I'm listening to music, I can breach that silence of them not talking and me asking them something and then them not responding with music. So I feel like I'm okay because I'm just listening to music. But I feel like I almost can't work without the stimulation. So I did it. It was fine because they were busy anyway, so they weren't even looking at me. I didn't even hear them call my order because I almost folded. I almost put my headphones in on accident by default. You know, it's funny, when I so often have my headphones in that sometimes I'll be standing there and I'll be on the phone with someone holding my phone, and I'll try to skip the song while they're talking. And sometimes I'm in my AirPods, I'll do the same thing. Or if I'm in person with someone and I have them in, I'll try to skip. And I'm like, it's that bad of a comfort for me that I have to rely on it. I'm getting better though. I don't think I'll ever stop listening to music, but I do want to try not to stimulate myself as much. Sorry, people scare me. Where do you find fulfillment? My truest moments when I find fulfillment is helping people. And I mean, not in a way of like I donated to charity or I did something super broad, but like directly one-on-one. I like helping people and I like showing them something and them reacting. I guess sounds kind of egotistical, but I like when people benefit from me. I like it when people are like, okay, wow, that's really helpful. I didn't know that. I feel better now. It makes me feel really good, but it's pretty bad that I feel that way, but it's a little selfish. But if you think about it, everything's a little bit selfish. What's your response to failure? What is my response to failure? Until recently, actually, yeah, until like a year ago, it was always anger. It was never good. I would always beat myself up about something. I would physically harm myself. I'll say that. It was to a point when I was younger 20s. But most of it's way better because I used to. I still do it, I guess. I'll sit there and I tell myself how I could have done better, why I didn't do better. But my good response to failure is that I'm self-aware. The last couple of years I've been self-aware. I mean, like, even though I'm mad at myself, I'll be like, okay, now you're done over with your fit you just had. What can you do to improve next time? Because I do it at work a lot where I beat myself up about something that I'm not good enough and I should have been faster. Why couldn't I figure it out on my own? I hate reaching out. I want to figure it out myself and kind of showcase it to my peers and be like, look what I did. But I'm getting better at that, accepting that, okay, it took me a while, but I figured it out on my own. Or it was a lot faster, but I had to ask a couple people. Next time, I won't have to. Or this needs repetition. I'll do it 30 more times, and then I'll not be able to ask anyone. So, short answer is repetition. That's how I respond to failure, is how can I be better next time? The long answer is that I'm still working on it. Still working on the self-sabotage of myself in moments, whether it's that or emotionally. Because if I have a friend that is treating me poorly, I assume I'm the issue and I'm the problem. Even if they're reacting poorly, I think that I'm the problem and that I could have prevented it if I just spoke. So, yeah, just failure is an option, and it's actually super necessary. How do you find motivation to change yourself? Is it hatred? Wow, that is literally exactly what I was talking about. How do you find motivation to change yourself? Is it hatred? Is it knowing what you love and driving for that? It is hatred towards myself. That is the biggest driver, but that's what actually changes me. But changing myself also will make me a better influence on other people and help them not hate themselves. So me hating myself makes me show people that they don't need to hate themselves to become that kind of person. You need to be to be a good person. You don't have to hate yourself like me, because yeah, it's kind of backwards. Because you don't need to hate yourself, but I definitely do. And also just motivation to be better, to look in the mirror, and actually not hate myself is another motivator. So hatred is like the baseline, but the actual reason is because I want to love myself more. Okay, sorry, I keep picking up my phone like I don't need to ask that next question. What saves you from your own mind? Ooh, an edgy question. What saves me from my own mind? Yeet. And my producer's laughing at this, but I'm not kidding. When I want to listen to music, if I'm driving to work, if I'm working, and I want something to feel safe, I go into Spotify, go on my liked songs, and I type Yeet, click play, and shuffle. Every time feels like the first time. Every time. And I've been told I'm a glazer. I'm okay with that. If something makes me feel that good, I'm gonna hold on to it. That dude's vocals are like instruments. I am super obsessed with them. Yeah, that's my biggest. I'm glad it's not food. I think about it, and I'm glad it's not food. It's like Yeet, something I can go back to over and over, not spend any extra money on, and it won't make me fat. Staying busy, keeping motivation. I have a lot of punch list items on here that I didn't touch on because I couldn't remember them yesterday. I forgot this notebook yesterday. How do I make $30K in 6 months? That one was more of a joke I was going to bring up to Teeny, because my idea for my personal life is the dream situation is to pay off this car and then have the second car also cool, and then put money towards that. So I have 2 cool cars that are also reliable. That's why I was asking. And I want everything here and now, fast. That's why I said in 6 months. This is a nervous tick of mine. I think you're noticing that now, is that I keep setting my stuff down. And that I'm changing frame constantly. But I think this looks good, dude. Look at the framing on that looks so good. I'm going to bring Lala in for a couple of these questions. Scratch that idea. I'm just going to answer these myself. What's something that makes someone more approachable? I think someone that is approachable is someone that's easier to, obviously physically, you can see in their eyes, someone that is already, I don't want to say lighthearted, because that's kind of a broad term, but like their eyes are bigger and they're already kind of smiling. Someone that in conversation will still talk to you and be interested in what you're interested in, despite if they care about it or not. Someone that's approachable is someone that's easier to come back to. But based off first impression, it's definitely a little bit harder if you don't just look at them. If it's someone you're not already looking at, it's hard to say if they're approachable or not. Yeah, I want to become more of an approachable person. It's hard because I don't have a really kind face, and I tend to give people mean looks, but that's just in my character, and I know that it's not something I can control because I don't notice it. What is something you've learned about yourself in the last year? I asked Teeny this yesterday. I asked Jacob this yesterday. I've learned that I can be kind when I want to be, and that I can actually show it, and that I know I'm aware when I'm not being a good person, and I'm doing better at reacting properly when I'm not being a good person. But I know that I can be a kind person deep down, and I never thought that was true because I was so judgmental. So yeah, it's something I've learned about myself in the last year. I think it still needs work. So I'm still pretty judgmental. What's something you think you should work on? Obviously that, but receiving kindness, because I struggle receiving any type of kindness or reaction to me that is positive, because I feel it as gross. I feel it as something that I want to reject and push away, like shiver in my skin because of how kind it was. And that sounds weird, but maybe it's how I grew up. But I think that my brain hears a positive affirmation and I instantly defend myself in my head, like, when's this about to go wrong? Why? What's about to happen? And just like self-sabotage, not every positive situation needs to have a corresponding negative situation. There can be just positive and there can be just negative. They don't have to have both ends of the spectrum. So that is something I do want to work on, is receiving kindness, mostly in love. I think through friendships and through relationships, through family and whatnot, I struggle still because I feel like this feels weird, it doesn't feel right, and it feels fake. What's something you think you should work on? Oh, I just asked myself that. If there was no restrictions, who should I have as a guest? Right now, with the current organization that I have, I'd want to say, no, I was going to say Yeet, but I wouldn't know what to ask him. Like his favorite cereal. Know what kind of food he likes. So you into groceries lately? If I had a guess, I think I would do... I can't even say him because I feel like I don't watch him enough. Who's someone that I actually watch? Oh. Who do you think it is?
Noel Miller.
Yeah, I don't know if you heard that. Noel Miller. That's a really good guess because I always forget about him. I was going to say like Drew Gooden because that dude is super funny. But Noel Miller, here's the baseline, here's me. I hope to be right here below him someday. And all glazing aside, I'd love to be a friend with that guy. That dude just seems super chill. And we're close in age. He's 35, I'm 25. Dude, the only difference between me and him is that he's 35 and a comedian, and I'm 25 and I have a mic. So I'm like 2 steps away from him. I just need to age a little bit faster. I'll meet him someday. This is me calling that right now. I'm gonna meet him someday. I'm also gonna have him. I'll have him on the podcast for sure. Also, I want to have Ian on the podcast. I don't know if you know who that is. He's a rapper. She's Yelia's behind the camera. She's definitely made reels to his songs. She just doesn't know. Wow, I'm just a burpy person today. I had fajitas because Caden's dad made them. Thank you, Mark. I know you're gonna say this podcast is ass like you did last time. How do you think someone should practice? Oh, how do you think someone should practice being more funny? I intended on asking someone else that question, but I actually don't even know how to answer that myself, so I don't think I could. Can you practice? I think starting at the baseline again is great. So like if you were to start at the dad jokes and stuff that's super simple, like hear about the dude that had his left side chopped off. He's all right now. And hear me out. The delivery is what it is. So, call me DoorDash, but the delivery has to be right at least one of the 5 times. But working on delivery and timing is what's going to make it funny. That's what my answer to that is. How do you work on past deep insecurities? Wow, that took a change. Fuck. I actually wanted this answer because I didn't know how to answer this. Sometimes it's okay to beat yourself up. It's okay to let yourself cry a little. It's okay to say you're the reason why the conversation was started and why the tension was there. But then you have to remember to reflect and be like, okay, just like my failures earlier, how do I fix this? Because most of the time, sure, you're going to be the issue, or you're half of the issue, because there's always 2 people to a party. Fuck what they say about 5 people to a party. 2 people to a party. If you're going to have a fight, unless you're doing crack in Portland, it's not going to be with yourself. So you just got to think about, how can I improve next time? How can I communicate next time? And that'll kind of fix the insecurity of, just hitting it head on and trying to, I guess the reason why I asked it is more for myself, not for my relationship with other people's. Biggest insecurities for everyone, is some appearance issue. And there's some people that, actually, I would fight to say a lot of people do not show it. Most people do not show it. Your parents will not show it. But people that want more attention and people that are newer to social situations will show it. That's why people in their teens and early 20s, even some in their 30s, will reflect and they react poorly. And they'll tell you and they'll fight you and be like, why'd you say that about me? That's one thing I hate about myself. And they'll just explode at you. And I think being able to be at peace with it, or attack it head on. For me, I have a lot of insecurities of my face. My face shape in general. I notice things about myself that other people don't. If you look at me head on right here, I notice the difference between my mustache on both sides. I notice the difference between my nose and how one eye flops more than the other. I notice how maybe my hair is a little bit lighter here just because it curls and the density of it is less, and it has been since I was a kid, than it is over here. That's not why I got the cut, by the way. Stuff that no one else notices. And people will never bring to light. It's my favorite saying because it sounds so disrespectful of your statement. It sounds so disregarding of your statement, but it's literally not that deep. You're the only one that cares about it. It sucks. That won't make you feel any better by looking in the mirror and being like, oh, it isn't that deep, bro. You're still not going to love yourself looking in the mirror if you think you're ugly. But you got to realize it's not about you. It's not that deep to look in the mirror and be like, wow, I look ugly today. Do it ugly. Remember what I said? Do it ugly. You can't make money by sitting there caring about you being ugly. You can't love other people more thinking that you're ugly. You can't improve yourself by sitting and thinking that you're ugly. It's not going to change. There's things you can't change. You can modify yourself. I won't lie. You can spend a lot of money to change yourself. But there's a lot that you can't change. And coming to terms with things that you cannot change will actually help you see that maybe, just maybe that's the reason you should love yourself. Just a thought. Sorry. Just a thought. And maybe your fade is sick as hell. And it gets rid of, oh my God. It gets rid of that ugly hairline you used to have. I still don't think it's that bad. I don't like my side profile. Like this or this. I don't like that. I don't think I have enough of a jawline. People look at me and I'm just gonna glaze myself a little bit because this is not my personal opinion. Other people look at me and tell me I am very attractive. I do not see it. But then there's other people that I sit there and I tell every day, dude, you are conventionally attractive. You need to stop shitting on yourself, because if I was a girl, no, I'm not gonna say that. But I do think that your perspective of yourself is much worse than what's true. I think you think you're uglier than you actually are. And that helps me kind of conclude this. I want this answer. Or maybe I'll ask my dad this in a couple weeks. How do you get past imposter syndrome? How do you sit in a job that you love, a hobby that you like, a relationship that you love, and think to yourself, I am worth this? And this is an open-ended question because I'm not going to answer this. Now, I want you to sit there. If you're sitting alone, if you're sitting in your car and you're driving, do not do this. It'd be kind of funny, actually, if you got pulled over for this. Get out a piece of paper. Write down everything you don't like about yourself. Go ahead. No, I'm not going to sit here the whole time while you're writing. You can pause it. And then below it, write everything you like about yourself. There's one more thing. Third line, write 5 things that made you happy this week. That you sat there and you reflected on, that actually made you happy. And then close that page. Okay, don't do this all in within a minute of take your time. Rip that page out. Crumple it up. Put it in the trash. And now you can think about it. Okay, see ya.